just turn this on. Now I'm going to refresh and see if I didn't get my live yet. Hello, I see two people here. I cannot see myself yet because I'm refreshing and it's, nope, thought I had it for a second. But welcome whoever is here. Oh, there it goes. It's giving me an ad for some reason in front of my own live. And I'm on a laptop down here, so I'm trying to use that little pad to do the cursor. I'm no good at that. I really don't like it. Okay, I got that situated. So here I am out on the porch. And for some reason, my picture just froze. Hopefully it didn't freeze for you guys as well. Let me try refreshing it once again. There it goes. Seems like it. But now I don't see the chat. What the hell is going on here? Okay, now I see the chat box, but I'm still lagging on my video. As long as the chat keeps up, I guess that's all that matters. So if someone can comment in the chat, just so I know that that's at least working, even though my image is frozen. Okay, no freezing. Thank you, Joanne. Now at least I know that the chat part is working. I don't know why I'm locking up on here, but I don't have to see myself. I just have to see the chat, and I can, so it's all fine. Hopefully you guys are doing well. As you can see, I'm out on the porch because if you saw my video from yesterday, which was not a recipe, then you saw our office and guest room are all torn up. Everything is all over the place. So I had to find another place for recording because I could either choose the bedroom or outside. Luckily, it's not too hot. I thought it was supposed to be like 85 today. So far, so good. It's nice and comfortable. It's a little shady. I don't know why this is frozen. I see two people on now. I've lost couple of people. I don't know if they were having trouble as well. Let me skip, and hopefully now the thing will all be sorted. Anyway, welcome to my porch. It's been a long time since I've been out here. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I see people keep popping in and out, so I'll give it a little time in case people have forgotten or are trying to get on, what have you. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. I'd love to find out that other people are actually doing fairly well and not in a clutter of things from two other rooms. Oh, and I did want to mention to anyone who may be watching the replay of this, I've mentioned it before, but I think I forgot the last time to mention that if you don't see the chat on the side of the video, you have to wait. It takes like a day for some reason for the chat to catch up with the video. I don't know why. Maybe they're moderating it. I don't know. But if you don't see that, come back. How did I lose a thumbs up? I don't know what is happening here. Now I lost another person. All right. So far it seems I have one person here and one thumbs up. I will wait a little bit longer, but if we don't get many people coming on, I guess then I won't be a long live today. But hopefully other people aren't having issues like I was. I know Joanne said there was no freezing on her end, but Now we're back up to 2 people. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. People are bouncing in and out. Thumbs up are coming and going. So I don't know what's happening. But it's been 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't seem like we're going to get many people unless everyone's having trouble getting on here for some reason. So I don't know. I guess I can at least let you know for the weigh-in. I was actually down just 0.2, I believe. I think. I could be wrong. I think that's what it was, because over the past 2 weeks I went down 2 pounds. Last week I was down 1.8. So I think that's where it is now. But I'm pleased by that, just because, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I did not do very well with my eating last week. Didn't do horribly, but I didn't do well. So minus 0.2, I'll take it. And now we are back to 2 people, 3 people. So people are popping in. And if it's any indication of the way things are going, they might be popping back out, because people are coming and going. And not much interaction. So, like I said, this will probably be a short video, I guess, because, I usually like to have a little give and take, a little chat with everyone. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to 10 minutes. Okay, we now have 4 people. Yeah, so I don't really get, now we're back down to 3. I don't really get a lot of attendance on these. I know some people do watch it after the fact, which is fine. But I don't know, maybe I'll just stop doing them, because, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of draw, but I don't know. You can let me know what you think, if I should continue or not, because, I've done a few of these now, and I get some interaction, but I'm not sure if it's worth coming in every other week for it, but you let me know. And I am doing, for those of you who are in the Facebook group, thank you, Marilyn. Hey, Alan. Oh, yeah, I'm out on the porch today, Marilyn, so I am enjoying the weather. Luigi, happy Saturday to you, too. All right, so now people are popping in. Here is my friend Alan's channel. I will share that with you if I can figure out how to do this, mount this laptop pad. I'm not great at it, as I mentioned earlier, but there is my friend Alan's channel. He is in the UK. He is doing Slimming World, which is kind of like WW, although they do different scenarios. They use SINS, SYNS. They have healthy things and whatnot. Oh, thank you, Luigi. Yeah, I decided, because of all the turmoil in the house, if you saw yesterday's video, our office and guest room are torn apart. The office had to be moved into the living room. The table's moved. Everything's moved all over the place. So it was either come out on the porch, which is a bit nicer view, although a little more noisy, or I could go in to the bedroom and have a boring background. So here I am. Alan, I hope you're feeling well. I know you weren't fully yourself. You weren't feeling that great, so hopefully things have improved. Hi, Lori. It is a beautiful day. I was actually afraid because I asked Alexa, I can say it because I'm outside and she's not here, what the weather would be like for Saturday, and she said 85. So I was expecting it to be a lot hotter than it is, although I am in the shade so I can actually see what's happening. But, I just was glad to get out here and not have it sweltering hot. You are doing better? Oh, good, Alan. I'm glad to hear that. But anyways, I was talking about, people have been popping in and out and whatnot, and I was talking about how I don't necessarily get a lot of live interaction on the lives. So I didn't know if I should continue them or not, because I know people do watch them after the fact in the replay, which I do appreciate, but then I'm like, I usually like to have a little interaction, chat with people, talk about things. So I didn't know if I should continue doing the lives or not. So just let me know what you think, whether you're watching it now live or down in the comments if you're watching the replay. But I was talking about, I did do my weigh-in, and after a not good, no, Marilyn, we're not renovating the house on purpose. We have we had a leak from our air conditioner in the guest room. When the remediation guys came, they did a sensor of where moisture was coming in. Excuse me. So it was the ceiling in the guest room, the floor in the guest room, and then they found it was leaking into the office ceiling as well, so they had to take that down. So those two rooms, they're going to be remodeled, but it's not on purpose. It's because of the air conditioner and whatnot. So it's just, everything's all over the place. So that's why everything's in turmoil. Luigi, my YouTube notifications are completely whack. It just happened to see you were live. Get it together, YouTube. Yeah. It's just like, I don't understand, like I was mentioning, why YouTube, when they replay a live, why the chat takes so long to catch up with it. I don't get it. But Lori, this is the first Saturday off in years that wasn't for vacation. I am working another 3.5 shifts before retirement. Oh, that's awesome. After that, I should catch more of your lives. Oh, well, you're retiring? That's awesome. You definitely enjoy. Budget Girl enjoys the live streams. Okay. Mima's here. I'm glad you caught me too, because I actually had your channel ready and raring to go if you popped in. So let me share Mima's channel. Oh no, I'm getting glare now. The sun is peeking out from the clouds up there. So this is Mima's channel, and she follows WW, and she's been doing extremely well for a very long time, so you should check her out as well. But yeah, I was mentioning that despite having a not so great week last week, food-wise, I think it was partly all the turmoil of everything. I'm a comfort eater, and if I'm stressed or out of whack, I'm gonna eat. But the what was that? See how easily I lose it? Oh, you're welcome, Mima. Yeah, so I was down just 0.2, but I was actually surprised I was down. So over the last 2 weeks, I'm down 2 pounds. Yeah, I get that, Marilyn. I totally understand, and especially in the summer. I mean, people are out doing things, especially weekends. It's probably a little more challenging. I'm doing them during the day, which probably also makes it more challenging because people aren't at home. Maybe they're out doing things. So, yeah, I do get that. But I am, so far this week, I think pretty well on track. We'll see what next week shows when I get on the scale, but so far, so good. Thank you, Alan. And if you do hear any noises in the background, the my our nephew is here with some friends fishing out on the lake over here, the pond. So they were making a little bit more noise earlier, and they seem to have calmed down a little bit for now. So we shall see. Let me get a little sip. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you have anything you'd like to share, any scale victories, non-scale victories, feel free to share. Even though I'm not in the sun, I've noticed my neck is sweating a little bit. I'm sure you really wanted to know that. But I also was talking in yesterday's video about in the Slimwin group chat that we do now, it's on Wednesdays. The last two I thought were pretty good, although there were only 3 of us in there. And it was about obstacles to losing weight, as I was mentioning in yesterday's video, the truck talk. And age is one of them. For women, menopause is one. But one of the biggest things I thought was interesting, as I mentioned, was how our bodies are designed to hold fat. And because in those prehistoric times, I guess, you used to be able to catch things sometimes and not catch things other times, like winter or what have you. So you needed that fat to store fuel for when you couldn't eat. So our bodies are still designed that way. Marilyn asked, what kind of fish do you catch and do you cook them? I don't fish and I don't like fish. So I don't cook any and I don't like touching them. I don't like tried when I was a kid. I don't like putting the worms on the hook. I'm not a fisherman. So I'm not a seafood person. Paul always yells at me for not being more adventurous, but I've tried things at his behest. I just can't. I just don't find it my thing. There are other things I'd much rather sample. So I don't actually know what they catch out there. I don't know what kind of fish would be out here. I have no idea. I should ask them. There you go. I've been sharing your channel info with all my friends wanting you to lose weight. Oh, thank you, Mima. I really appreciate that. And I did see in your comment to my comment that you were going through the recipes again to see things that you were going to make. So I do appreciate that. Yeah, and as I said, I am working on some new things like the dressings, Thousand Island and Honey Dijon, which I think I have perfected. I do have to have a couple of more taste tests to be sure, get other people's opinions, but so far I think I've gotten those down. And then I wanted to try the yum yum sauce. Then I had someone ask for a healthy version of sweetened condensed milk. Trying to get that situated So I am working on things, and hopefully next week I will have a recipe out. Hopefully I can get things situated in a way that's not going to make my ADD and OCD go crazy. And I will actually be able to focus on doing a recipe video for next week. But anyways, as I was saying, the articles that I read in that meeting were talking about we're not designed to lose weight. We're actually fighting against our design because we needed that fat for the lean times. That's why when they say make sure you're eating enough if you're not losing weight, if you're not seeing a change in the scale, because if you don't eat enough, your body automatically thinks, oh, starvation mode, got to store this fat. Eventually, yes, you will lose weight eating that way, but it's not in a healthy way. So that's something to consider, to give yourself a little bit of grace. I'm not saying use it as an excuse and say, hey, this is the way my body was designed, I guess I'll just let it go. That's not what I'm saying. Where I live near Worcester, Lori, in Worcester County, so it's kind of like the lower center of the state. And, you know, so don't use it as an excuse, but at least use it to understand why you may be having difficulty losing weight. Also, the subject of plateaus that we talked about, it was interesting to see in the article, they said plateaus a lot of times is your body's way of trying to recalibrate, to readjust to the sudden weight loss. You lost 40 pounds, you still have 10, 15 more to go, and you hit that plateau that a lot of us hit. It's just your body, according to this article, kind of saying, okay, wait a minute, I need to readjust to what's going on here, and just needs to even out, and then you can lose the weight again. So I thought those things were interesting. And then in the last one, my dad was born in Worcester. My cousin lives near there still. Oh, from where? Yeah, I haven't been to where, and I'm not even sure exactly from where I am where is. Not too much of a tongue twister there. But I actually grew up in Connecticut, but I've been here since I've been with, almost the whole time I've been with Paul. About 22 years I've lived up here. We've been together 24. Oh, I thought I heard a knock on the window. I thought it was him. But where is between Worcester and... Oh, okay, because my sister lives out in East Hampton, so I go out that way a lot. So I'm sure I probably pass where I could get off and go to where. But what was it this week? I'm trying to remember now what the articles we did for this week were, because they kind of tied in with what we did the previous week, because there was a lot of information. Oh, psychology, like the going through, you know, how psychologically there might be barriers to losing weight. And let me find that article, because I thought that was very interesting as well. And hopefully it should be. Oh, yeah, and they were talking about something called guided imagery, which we're going to be talking about in our next meeting, which sounded very interesting. But let me see, Psychology of Weight Loss was one of the articles. And that one's talking about negative self-talk and how to overcome it. And I thought it was very interesting because it says, hey, what are you doing? Things are opening up over here that I don't like it. Talking about common psychological blocks to weight loss. And one of the biggest ones is all or nothing thinking, where it's like you're either perfect on your diet or you're a failure. And you can't think that way. You've got to get rid of the all or nothing. As long as you're taking steps in the right direction, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. You're still taking steps in the right direction. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to take detours. That's just part of the journey. So you can't let that all or nothing defeat you, where it's like, oh no, I blew it. I might as well just give up. Sorry, I'm getting cloggy again. Me. As if I were going to sing. Nobody wants to hear that. Another one was negative body image and not comparing yourself to other people. Everyone's bodies are different. Nobody's going to lose weight the same way. No one's going to get the same body type as someone else if their body is just not that way. Like for me, I know I'm not going to be one of those muscly guys. My body has never been like that. Even when I was thin, when I was younger, it's never been like toned or anything. It's always been a little soft, a little on the softer side. But that can be an obstacle to healthy eating because, you might look at yourself and be like, oh no, look at this, look at that. I can't, and then what does that make you want to do? It makes you want to eat, seek some comfort. So that is not helpful either. I hear the boys getting a little more active. Stress is another thing. And before I go on, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I see 2 of them there, but I see 8 people in here, so just saying. Stress is another thing because what I do when I'm stressed, like with this remodel, is I reach for foods that are gonna make me comfortable. Oh, I just lost 3 people. People come and go. That's life. But stress can definitely be a factor in your weight loss because, comfort foods, finding another way of dealing with stress, that is what you need to do, whether it's relaxation or what have you. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so cloggy. Depression is another thing. I know when I'm not feeling my best, whether it's depression or illness or what have you, it can really make me just want to eat and make myself feel better. There's something about that comfort in that food. I don't know what it is, but I mean, because ultimately we know, yeah, there's something soothing there, but look at my hair. I just got it cut, so now I'm distracted again. It doesn't take much. But some tips to overcome those barriers is to keep a journal. And it doesn't have to be like a food journal, although that is helpful because too many crickets. Sorry. Because knowing what you're eating and what your emotions connected to that are, say that you're feeling stressed and you go and eat some Oreos or what have you. Oh, okay. I appreciate that, Budget Girl. Yeah, I usually, when I watch it on TV, I also have to have it on my phone because I can't chat on the TV for some reason. And hold on, I just saw Alan said something and it left my phone. I'm the same way when I feel down, I eat a lot too. Yeah, it's just, there's something comforting in that, like, oh, okay, maybe it's the fact that there's something you can do. Like, well, I can't do anything about how I'm feeling, but this will make me feel a little better. It gets that serotonin or whatever hormones in your brain going. But keeping a journal, like they said, avoiding stress is not always possible. But if you can identify stress triggers, so writing down things, even if, like I said, if it's not a food journal, write down, how you're feeling, what sparked that feeling, things like that. That can help you in acknowledging, in recognizing when something's coming up so you can maybe nip it in the bud or find some alternative to eating. Make small changes. Hello, hey, I'm hitting things over here and not meaning to. Make small changes, and that's especially if you're one of those all or nothing people. Instead of, you know, being all or nothing, just make small changes. Don't dive in and say, I'm going to lose 60 pounds by Christmas. And, make small changes. If you try to change too much too fast, there's a part of you that's going to resist that because it's not what you're accustomed to. So if you can just make small changes, take small steps, whether it's eating a healthier version. Stephanie, there's Stephanie. And I had Stephanie's channel ready and raring to go. If I can actually see what I'm doing here. Even though I'm in the shadow out here, I am getting a glare on the laptop for some reason. Well, you better have a good reason for being late, Stephanie. No, I'm kidding. I'm just glad that you're here. I was just talking about the things we had been talking about in the Slimwin group, about in the past 2 meetings, and oh well, that is important, Stephanie. So I totally understand. But yeah, so making small changes if you're either that all or nothing attitude, because small steps can avoid having too many changes at once, which is, for a lot of people, I know for me, I get very disoriented if too much changes. I'm not one who likes sudden changes either. So having those small steps, small changes really makes a difference. I just saw a text come up on my phone. I don't know if you guys get these, but they're like, oh, hi, I found your number in my phone. I can't remember who you are, but I block and delete them automatically because from what I understand, they try to get you in and be like, oh, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. And then they get you into chatting, and then they supposedly try, I don't know, scamming you in some way. I just block it right off the bat. Yeah, I do too, Stephanie. As soon as I get them, nope, you're gone. Okay. See, I'm not, as I said, I'm not very good with this laptop pad instead of a mouse. So I'm getting all over the place here. Okay, where was small changes, and then listen to self-talk. It is, Stephanie. It's where I'm outside on the porch. I haven't been out on the porch this year, so usually I used to do the tags out here, but now I don't do the tags anymore. So I thought this was the perfect way, since the inside is all turmoil and everything is all over the place, that this was a good spot rather than sitting in my bedroom and having you stare at the wall behind me or what have you. But anyway, so yeah, and it is a very nice day out. I still am sweating on the back of my neck for some reason. You'd think the sun was beating down on me. Listen to self-talk was another one of the suggestions, to pay attention to the messages you send yourself throughout the day. And we all get them. You have thoughts all the time, but it says those who are prone to negative body image may find themselves repeating negative messages about their body daily. Phrases like "I'm so fat" or "I'm so out of shape," said out loud or in your head, can undermine your ability to take a healthy step. when the opportunity presents itself. So they suggest taking a week or two to listen to your inner dialogue, and this is where journaling can come in, identifying one or two messages that may be encouraging a negative self-image and write them down. So, oh, thank you, Budget Girl. Yeah, I love when they're nice and full, although I do love fall, but it is a lovely backdrop when the leaves are full and green, or even when they're turning colors. But once they go bare, it's not as pretty. But write down, even if it's for like a week or a few days, if you can't commit to a week, just commit to something, a little something, and write down what negative thoughts came up, why they came up, what sparked it. Was it something that you did? Was it something that someone else said? Whatever it was. Did you eat too much? Hi, Chris. Oh no, Stephanie, I will not go camping. That is not me. I'll go to a motel. That's about as rustic as I get. I've done camping before, not a fan. So yeah, just taking time to analyze what sparked a thought, what you can maybe change it into. It says challenge or replace these messages with a powerful mantra like my body is strong. I am enough. I have come a long way. For a lot of us, this has been an ongoing thing throughout our lives. I know I'm still committed. You're still committed to trying to get the weight off. So that is a plus in my book. So that's one thing you can say, listen, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm trying every day, that kind of talk. Also learn relaxation techniques. And this is where they were talking about guided imagery. And Stephanie, I have looked up guided imagery. I have some stuff for our next Slimwin chat. And I may even talk about it. Oh, the weigh-in, Stephanie, I was down, which was surprising, but it was only down 0.2. But over the past 2 weeks, I was down 2 pounds. So I wasn't expecting it. I was actually expecting a gain the way I was eating. But, ant crawling on me. I don't like bugs crawling on me. Yep, a loss is a loss. That is right. So yeah, learning relaxation techniques. Slimwin is one of the chats, one of the groups that I have listed down in the description box. There's my group, Recipes with Roy, and we do online meetings every other Monday. If I do a live, that following Monday, I also do a meeting on this site called Jitsi. It's kind of like Zoom, but you don't have to download anything. So it's a lot easier, I think. And that's one of the groups I have. And then there's I'm part of the Slimwin group and Finding Our Way group. Slimwin and my group, Recipes with Roy, are the two that do chats. Slimwin, we do them every week. On Wednesdays now at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. over in the UK, because a lot of people from Slimwin are in the UK. And mine are every other Monday, as I said, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you can join the Facebook group, and there's a link in there to the site that we do the Zoom meetings on. Relaxation techniques. Yes, hopefully, Stephanie, hopefully it's not just you may enjoy again, as lovely as those chats. And I thought those were really good chats too. So it was disappointing that we didn't have more people, but it is what it is. Okay, so yes, learn some relaxation techniques. guided imagery, which, as I said, we're going to discuss in one of the groups. I might even discuss it in both of the groups this week, because it's kind of like a way of relaxation, almost kind of hypnosis type thing, but it's more like calming yourself and visualizing things and kind of like guiding yourself in a direction you want to go. But even just meditation, something like that is perfectly fine. Just something to help you to relax. And then they also suggest seeking help if you're having a lot of difficulties, if you are having a lot of compulsive eating, if you're having compulsive thoughts, other ways where you're not eating enough, then seek some help from someone who can help. But I thought those were very good suggestions. And let me see, the other article is, I mean, it was kind of similar to what was covered here. And I thought this tied in well with what we had gone over the following week, or the previous week, not the following week. That's next time. I'll be all right. Or so I keep telling myself. And the other one was healthy mind and body. Oh yeah, because this one, it was surprising because this one was from health.mil, which is actually part of the military health system. But they had some really good suggestions on there. And actually, I will update the description box and include these articles that I'm referring to down there so that you can read them yourself if you're interested. But they talk about how your mental health can impact weight management, and having a healthy approach, mentally healthy approach to losing weight. So part of it is reframing the approach. Individuals that often adopt weight management plans or programs with that all or nothing attitude that we talked about in the previous, rather than thinking I'm on a diet or I'm off a diet or I'm going to start a diet a particular day, try to adopt approaches that are more sustainable in the long term. So diet is really not the best term. I think it's more, I mean, this is going to be a lifelong way of eating for most of us, not just dieting to lose the weight and then we're done. That doesn't work. Believe me, I've tried it many times. And this is the first time that I've kept going after the fact, after I got to my goal weight. Now, as I said, hey, Ro, that's okay. Stephanie was late too, so you're not alone. And I do have Ro's channel all geared up and ready to go. If I can actually see where this cursor is, there it is. And copy. Yeah, Ro, we were talking about the things we had talked about in the Slimwin group the past 2 weeks. And my weight loss was, I was down 0.2 this week, down 0.18, no, down 1.8 last week. So down 2 pounds over the last 2 weeks. If I could talk, it would really be helpful some days. Okay, so there is Ro's channel. She is also on a weight loss journey, and she's doing whatever she needs to do to lose the weight, adapting as she goes. If one thing's not working, she's willing to change things up, which I think is the perfect mindset, because the same thing is not going to work for everybody. We all have very different bodies. Our bodies react to things very differently. So what may not be working for one person may work for someone else, and vice versa. Thank you, Ro. But yeah, so, you know, you just have to keep that in mind. If something's not working, don't blame yourself. Just figure out another way. That's all you need to do. All you need to do. Like, it's really that simple. You have to get your mind in there. But Don't be afraid to change things up. Don't be like, oh, well, Weight Watchers isn't working, or Healthy App isn't working, or SlimWin, or what, I mean, Slimming World, SlimWin, um, or whatever it is. Change it up as you need to make it work for you. That's why in most of my recipes, I tell you different ways that you can change it up, because not everyone's going to like exactly what I like. So if you want to change something up, use a different protein, use different vegetables, use different herbs and spices. You do whatever you want, whatever you need to do. But then, oh, you're crying out loud. But then it talks about losing weight can make you feel better, and it's kind of like a snowball effect where it's like you get that rush of, oh, I'm down, I'm losing, and you can kind of get that momentum going. The bad thing is that can work in the reverse if you have a bad week or two, and it's like, oh my God, why can't I do this? So stop the negative self-talk, because that's really not helping anybody, especially you. And you're more valuable than that. You are your own person. You're going to handle things in a totally different way than someone else. So don't let what someone else did. That's why you never compare to anyone else. What somebody did here is not going to work for this person over there. So just do what you have to do. Don't compare yourself at all. And then it says, how should people judge their success? And it says, they'll have people come in saying, this is the number I want to be. And it's even more complicated. They're talking about the military, because there are magic numbers that you have to reach to do certain things or not do certain things. But a good way to assess fitness is to evaluate whether it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, or time-bound, which is a SMART goal, S-M-A-R-T, where it's got to be specific, where you don't just say, oh, I want to lose some weight. You specifically say, I want to lose 10 pounds over the next 2-3 months. That seems reasonable, which is another one, realistic. You want to make sure it's attainable, because if you can't attain it, setting that goal, like saying, I'm going to lose 60 pounds in 2 months, that's not realistic or even likely attainable, at least not in a healthy way. Should be measurable, so that you can actually measure how much weight, or even not even a number on the scale, but you want to fit into a certain pair of pants or a certain shirt, things like that. And time bound, you want to give yourself a time frame to do it. You don't want to just leave it open-ended and say, oh, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Okay, when? How? What? So those were some of the articles that we've gone over in the SlimWin chat. And I did see, speaking of chat, some comments go by that while I was chatting, so let me catch up here. Mima, the longer I've been on maintenance, it seems to be the norm for me instead of the unusual. And I never thought I would be able to say that. Yeah, I mean, we get so into the dysfunction when we're heavy of, oh, this is me, this is, and as you're going through the weight loss process, you're trying to reframe your goals. You're trying to start new plans, get new things into place that you haven't been doing before. So to reach that point, Mima, where you're like, this is my normal, that is the best way to be able to be in maintenance, because you've been doing it long enough that now this is what it is. It's not something you're unusual or something you're striving for. It's part of your pattern now. Okay, then Ro is asking Alan how he was. And right, Stephanie, everyone's journey is different. You can't compare people. everyone's got their own body type. Someone who is, you know, big boned, as they say, isn't going to be able to get down to a skinny mini look, but because their body is not set up that way. So you just have to go with, this is my body. And that's another thing, is accepting your body as it is. I know for the longest time, I had a lot of issues with things about my body. And I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older, but now I'm like, I don't even care. It's like, you know, all those little things that annoyed me before, I don't care anymore. So it's just knowing what your body might be able to do, what it might not be able to do, and appreciating whatever it does do. So, you know, you can't go by what's happening or working for someone else. That's not going to work for you, perhaps. And if it doesn't, you're just going to get down on yourself. Just do like Ro does. Play around with your plan. Do what you have to do to get it to work for you. Well, we are at 51 minutes, 52 minutes, closing in on an hour. So if there are any questions, any comments, anything you want to share about your journey, your weight loss, your non-scale victories, what have you, feel free, or we shall start wrapping up very soon. As I said, if you have any recipes you want me to try to adapt, let me know down in the comments or in the chat. My plans for the rest of the weekend, Stephanie, are nothing. I don't have any plans. We did go out. We got our haircut today, which is why I kept playing with it. And then we had the guys come over. They sell here, actually, to check out what needs to be done in the bedroom and guest room, and the guest room and the office. So tomorrow, I don't think we have anything planned. I'll probably just vegetate. The bad thing is, with Paul being in the living room now, his office is set up there. So when he works, or even when he's doing something, usually I'm in the living room watching TV while he's in the office, but now his office is in the living room. So I usually have to go into the bedroom to watch TV. Oh, thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do appreciate if, I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know if I should continue the lives, if I shouldn't, because they don't always have a lot to talk about. So it's kind of feels like I'm just scrambling sometimes, although today I did have the topics from the meetings. But that's why I decided to do these every other week, because if I tried to do them every week like Dee does over at Dish with Dee, I don't have that much to say usually. I don't go out and do anything really, so, you know. But yes, my weekend is going to be pretty relaxed. Why, thank you, Stephanie. And my chin does wag when it's not stiffening up as it is now, but I still work it out, get it going, get it wagging. Oh, thank you, Ro. I appreciate that. Yeah, Chris, I've been doing them every other week. And I think that might be part of the problem also, because they're not every week. It's not like expected and there's a week with nothing and then you're like, oh wait, when is he doing a live, etc. So that could be throwing things off too, but I don't know. I'll keep doing them. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I can always do, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you too. As I mentioned before in one of the chats, the thing I am most grateful for on this weight loss journey is all of the people that I have met, all of you, Bree, my pal Bree, who actually pushed me into doing the channel, and then Jennifer Lynn, who egged me on even more when she found out about that, and then Dee kept telling me to do it, and actually that's where we got my name for my channel was from Dish with Dee. I was in her chat, in her live, and we were talking about it, and we were like, oh, I could do Dish with Dee, recipes with Roy, why not? But you know, so I do have these articles that I can read, that I can, you know, give me something to chat about. And if anyone wants to do a live with me, you don't have to have a YouTube channel to do it. I just have to send you the link and you can open it up and we can actually go live together if you'd like. So if you'd like to do a live with me at some point, let me know down in the comments and I will add you to a list that is right now non-existent. I am trying to get Stephanie to do one. Ro, if you want to do one, Mima, whoever would like to do one, just let me know and we can go live together. For sure, Ro. I definitely think that that's like the best thing that's come of my weight loss journey. And even before I started the channel, I started communicating with YouTubers that I was watching. So, you know, that's the best thing that's come out of it is all the support that we get from each other. Well, I guess I will leave it there. We're just under an hour, but that's fine. We don't have to be precise around here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the chat, whether it's now or in the future. And remember, if it is in the future, the chat on the side will not show up right away for some unknown reason. I do too, Mima. And if you want to do a live with me, Mima, we can do a side by side at the same time. It would only be on my channel or on your channel. You can't do it on both simultaneously for some reason. But if you want to do a live, feel free to let me know. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the chat. I hope that you guys will be back in 2 weeks, maybe even on Monday night in my Recipes with Roy meeting. Thank you, Luigi. You have a great weekend too. So I guess I will leave you there, guys. So from the porch outside my house for the first time this year, I'm going to say goodbye. So until next time, bye. Why am I? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Don't ask me. I'm not technically savvy, as you can tell. All right, really, for the last time, bye. Thank you guys for joining me. I am glad you were here. Bye.